So you want to monetize your podcast, and you're thinking to yourself, perhaps sponsors aren't quite the way you want to go right now. Well, what about offering premium podcasting content? It's a great idea. It really can work, but what the heck is it? That is what we're going to discuss here today on the Podcast Accelerator. I'm your host, Mark Asquith, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Rebel Base Media. We make podcast technology, including Captivate.fm, the world's only growth-oriented podcast host, where you can get 7 days totally on us. Just go and take Captivate for a spin. Go and look at why podcasters are hosting with Captivate, not only to generate their RSS feeds, measure their IAB certified analytics, but also to grow their show using our unique and innovative marketing tools for all podcasters. Go and check it out, Captivate.fm. So before we get onto premium content, a big shout out to the team at Aweber who helped me to produce this podcast. They sponsor the show. We're talking monetization. If you are following the show either on YouTube or in the podcast app that you listen to your podcasts in, you'll know that this is about halfway through our big series on monetization at captivate.fm/money. That's a big blog post, the ultimate guide to podcast monetization. And the way that I monetize my show here is by Aweber sponsoring it. And the reason they sponsor it is because I believe in their email marketing product. I use it for my podcast. I use it as a way to build relationships with my audience, and I use it as a way to just maintain data about my audience that I believe every business person, every podcaster, every creator should be maintaining. So go and check it out at aweber.com/Mark Asquith. Now, let's go and just talk about premium content. So premium content is something where, you know, if you have your listeners and they obviously love what you're doing, they really enjoy what you're doing, and they maybe want to hear a little more of it, okay? Now, podcasting, you know, in this format, as you are maybe viewing this now on YouTube, or maybe you're viewing this in your podcast app of choice, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Pocket Cast, whatever, Podcast Guru, whatever you choose to just acquire your podcasts, you will have heard that baked-in Aweber ad, all right? You will have heard that baked-in Aweber ad. I gave you the wrong link for that, actually. It's markasquith.com/Aweber. Now, you'll have heard that. I baked that in. I read that. I talked about that kind of as a constructed piece of my podcast. And premium content is basically something where listeners give you something, whether it's money, usually money, it can also be an email address, usually give you a little bit of money, either every month or on a one-off basis. Every month is the most common, and it's normally connected and collected via things like Patreon, which we're going to talk about on the next episode. And what that means is that, theoretically, I could give you, the paying subscriber, a version of this podcast that didn't have the Aweber sponsorship in it. That's premium content because it's ad-free. Now, Wondery have just launched their ad-free binge listening app. Luminary do paid-for subscriptions as well. And of course, there are so many other platforms out there trying this where you pay to access premium content. On the whole, that business model comes with its challenges, but as an independent creator, premium content where you charge people for listener support, this is the key thing, understanding that this is listener support, and giving them extra value is absolutely vital. So it's not only ad-free content that you can give them. We actually run a listener support setup with premium content for our Star Wars podcast, Spark of Rebellion. And we love doing that show. Like, we only do it because we absolutely love it. It's not a way for us to make money. It's not a way to promote Rebel Base Media. It's not a way to promote Captivate.fm, the podcast hosting platform. It's none of that stuff. It's because we absolutely love talking about Star Wars, but before we actually created that podcast, we set a Patreon up, and I'll talk about that in the next episode. And we essentially offer premium content to our subscribers who pay us every month on one of varying tiers. So they can either pay $1 or $5 or $10 or $15, $20, $30 a month for different levels of premium content. Now, it doesn't just have to be audio content. What we've decided to do with Spark of Rebellion is not like do an ad-free version of it if you pay us. No. We're going to take it a step further. We're going to do something different. When we hit a certain threshold of earnings, we're actually going to create a new offshoot of the show, so a special short form episode of the show every week that is just for our paying supporters. What we also do is we give special perks. We give executive producer credit. So we'll send you some business cards saying that you're an exec producer of Spark of Rebellion. Like, it's just a laugh. It's amazing. People really love that. You know, they can say I'm an exec producer of a podcast, and we'll back you up. Like, if we ever see you in a pub, I'm a producer of Spark Rebellion. We'll back that up. We also give stickers, laptop stickers that we've got designed. We give custom wallpapers out for desktops and laptops. Also, we invite people on certain tiers to really give us content so they can record their own random spotlight segment, or they can suggest you to us, or they can guest on the show and discuss a random spotlight with us. So it comes with all of this premium content. It's not difficult to set this up. You can also do around bonus episodes, exclusive guest interviews. You could be taking Q&As. You could take content that you record with a guest and only put it out to your paid-for subscribers. Now, premium content kind of feels a little bit weird for podcasting because ultimately it's not something that podcasters are really au fait with. Podcasting's been open for such a long time that asking for donations or whatever, it's a bit... it can feel a bit weird. It's a bit icky. But it's not. The more time progresses, the more that creators realize that they should and could be getting paid for their work, then listener support is vital. I mean, look at people like Trivial Warfare, Aaron Mankey, who runs the Law podcast and series of properties. And listener support is huge for those two businesses, Law, Trivial Warfare, and so many of the other big podcasts out there as well. Even Tim Ferriss tried this, listener support, all right? So go and think it through. I'm going to talk in the next episode about Patreon in particular, and how to charge for your content. So the next couple of episodes we've got are around charging for your content, what you should charge, and then really, should I start a Patreon for my podcast? Okay, so we're going to talk about those two things. But just start thinking about, you've probably already got a lot of premium content or a lot of added value that you can give to people who might want to pay you 5, 6, 10, 15, 20 bucks a month. You have access to you've got live Facebook group Q&As. There's a lot of extra value that you can add, laptop stickers for your podcast, shout outs on the show. On Spark Rebellion, people get their name on the website. If they choose a certain level of support, they get to become, Jedi Master Mark Asquith on the website. So just think that through. How can you start to plan this out? Because premium content is not just extra audio content. It's so much more. And I believe it's one of the strongest ways that you can start to monetize your podcast. So we'll talk about it in more depth on the next 2 episodes. So thank you for joining. Do go and check out captivate.fm/money for the ultimate guide to monetizing your podcast. I will see you on the next episode, and until the next time, never forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel.